So foreign countries really start migrating. They do faith in the country, they say we gone down the drain. They say no more could we see happy times again. But the will to recover in my people like have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I talk is nonsense. But the majority of we decide we're not going to run. Because now is the time to show me patriotism. For we country facing is darkest hour. So our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try. Just a little harder. If we just get one more try, life would be much sweeter. From the time we analyze just what was the problem.
Share the video.
Making very positive move to solve them. We fire the old section managers, we hard working. And it's a new group we went and we bring in. And if the goods we require them new managers not supplying. When election time come back wrong is new ones we bring in. But if it's one thing about my people I could guarantee that they would never ever put party
Before country,
I know the country facing
it's darkest hour, and our people need us today more than ever. So in all our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, they have one little thing that I want you always to remember.
we could make it if we try. Just a little harder. If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. When the treasury was full and happy time, some was enjoying. It's in over and love and people was living. Now the treasury flat and the country come back to square one. Poor people remain on the sea, will get to enjoy it. But to get the economy returned today on some footing. If the same poor people get days and coal are they taking. And without social unrest, poor people paying the price. Because they know for the country, nothing too much to sacrifice. And if the country facing is darkest hour, so our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover,
If ever you feel to surrender,
we have one little thing that I want you always remember.
we could make it if we try. Welcome, welcome one and all to the land of fat, Trinity the bone. All of you here, like yourself, black, white, brown, green, and every shade in between. A fellow named Ganesh, I want to get his correct name. A fellow named Ganesh Kalicharan. I was thinking it's Kalicharan. Ganesh Kalicharan posted, and I had to screenshot and share it. Trinidad and Tobago, a place where the Hindus can celebrate Hanuman Jayanti. The Baptists can celebrate Spiritual Shouter Baptist Day. The Christians can observe Good Friday. And the Muslims could partake in Jummah as customary, all in one day in peace and unity. Joe Paul, I said last night that I will be off until next week. This is actually an illusion. This is a figment of your imagination. I'm really not here live. You're just thinking that I am. But what Ganesh said, now I got some extra time this afternoon, so I thought I would just spend it with you all, if that is okay, because, I mean, there are other things I can go and do. But what Ganesh Kalicharan said is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for that. We're fighting to reclaim a country where every creed and race can continue to find an equal place. But that's not what's going on in Trinidad. What's going on in Trinidad?
From the Trinidad, location 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. SOS, SOS, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday.
Distressing me. Distressing me.
This is an SOS from the Trinidad.
SOS, SOS.
7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. SOS, SOS, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Help!
Well, let's share the video now. Saturday, 31st March 2018. Glorious Saturday.
The Trinidad, a luxury liner, sailing the Caribbean Sea, with an old captain named Eric Williams. Oh yes, sailed smooth and free, but sadly Eric Williams passed away. The ship hit rough water that day, someone turned the bridge over to a captain named Chambers. Me blood crawl, things start to fall. Hold me head when I sail I fall.
Captain, this ship is sinking.
Captain,
The seas are rough.
oh yes, we gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship or shall we stay on it?
And perish slow. We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Woi, woi. You need to hear this. I know a lot of y'all do not like to read. So, when I say that, long things, we get accustomed to reading sound bites, small bites, tweets. But this was put out on Caribbean News Now. And I had to share this. Now, I'm trying to edit it down a little bit because it's kind of long. As an editor of Caribbean News Now, this is by a guy named Yuri Kemp. While we are speaking, the Howard University students have taken control of Howard University. They have taken control of all of the offices and the main buildings in Howard University right now. And they are trying to get the principal, president, they call him a president, of the school removed. And he's a Trinidadian by the name of Wayne A.I. Frederick. And the students of Howard University trying to get their president, a Trinidadian, removed. Stay on top of that story. This is by Yuri Kemp. This is what Yuri had to say. As an associate editor of Caribbean News Now, I've been exposed to a lot of information from around the region. People send me documents and various bits of information. And as such, I have become connected to several persons and entities over the course of the last few months. While I am, he is, Yuri Kemp, Bahamian, I take time out to review and peer into a little deeper into what's happening on the ground in other countries. While I hope this doesn't come across as being an outsider getting his nose stuck in other people's affairs, but someone from some country has to work for Caribbean News Now. It just happens to be a few others along with myself under the grace of a managing editor. I have to say, as I stick my nose into Trinidadian affairs this time, Trinidad is in utter chaos at the moment. I can feel the energy from my perch a few miles away, and it has to be so strong as to be one of the big issues we tend to focus on. We typically set aside the smaller, local and international squabbles that typically come with government and society, unless it is an important announcement or someone from our small region is recognized or reaches an important milestone in their lives. I put up a post to my Facebook page about what I have been seeing and hearing from Trinidad. This was back on March 25th. The editor of Caribbean News Now and a few others asked me to put it in a standard op-ed to be posted on our news site. I first declined because I write op-eds fairly regularly already and had just then wrote 2 some 5 days apart. I like to do 1 a week at least along with standard articles for content. However, at the time the Grenadian elections had ended a week prior and needed some input as well as something else about the global economy and possible collapse down the line came up and I did something on that as well. With that said, Trinidad, a country that many have come to respect, love and cherish at great pains, is clearly not experiencing its finest hour. Since that Facebook post on March 25th, something else came up about Trinidad that caused me to have to stop and wonder if whether or not Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is actually in control of what Trinidad does on the world stage or not. Just recently, the Organization of American States representative from Trinidad, Ambassador Philip Spencer, at its permanent council meeting, declined to support a waiver of payment to the OAS for Dominica, even taking into consideration the devastation Dominica endured in the last hurricane season, something on which observers around the world reported on and even was invited to give input to the BBC in the UK, Deutsche Welle in Germany, and ABC in Australia on several occasions during the height of the devastation. This quite obviously stunned CARICOM and the diplomatic corps to the root as they scrambled to find out what happened. Why would Trinidad do this? Did Rowley approve? Is Trinidad's foreign policy at the sole discretion of Foreign Affairs Minister Dennis Moses, and was Rowley unaware of what was about to take place? This Dominica snub was the latest, and I want you all to understand, put that in context, contrast and compare that with the Keith Rowley who wanted to bring all the Dominicans to Trinidad for you all to mind. You see, I keep telling you all, that man is a double-tongued deceiver. He's a stunt artist. He never cared about the people of Dominica. He was using Dominica and the hurricane to hide Rohan Sinanan and what was going on the port. But we'll come back to that. 1. Murders are at an all-time high. Men, women, and young adults are being slaughtered at record rates. Since 2015, the rates have increased dramatically from 410 in 2015 to 494 in 2017 and trending to be over 520 by the end of 2018. 2. The Chief Justice, Ivor Archie, is also embroiled in scandal, having been accused of offering favors to gay men linked to him. One of the men spoke to the Guardian newspaper in the UK about escaping a hitman after coming out and discussing his relationships with the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice has also been attacked vigorously about his potency and capacity to serve dispassionately as a justice by other high-ranking court members and members of the Bar Association. Both quarters have been vocal, and even more so as he applied for sabbatical leave during the midst of it all, which caused yet another wave of discussions on his capacity to serve at this time, all things considered. 3. There were reports of Cabinet Minister Maxi Coffey having suffered a debilitating stroke last year, being so incapacitated that he may not be able to come back to his job even if he wanted to. The Rowley administration is reportedly paying thousands of dollars per day to keep him in hospital in the USA and has reissued a third extension since Coffey has been struck down, and apparently only doing so in an attempt, some say, to stave off a possible by-election where Rowley fears it will be a mini referendum on his leadership. This has not been held by another cabinet minister, stating that upon his visit to Coffey in hospital at Walter Reed Medical Center, that Coffey is doing okay. Listen to this, The only thing is that the Walter Reed Medical Hospital has been closed for operations since 2011. Your government, Stuart Young, lied. Fitzgerald Hines lied. Camille Robinson Regis lied. Keith Christopher Rowley lied. Your country is being run by a band of thieves, a band of corrupt miscreants and liars. That is open misbehavior in public office. And if this were a real country, the Speaker of the House of Representatives would have summoned the entire PNM front bench and put them on notice that Maxi Coffey's seat has to be declared vacant immediately and possibly withdraw privilege from the three that lied to her, if this was a real country. But up till now, Kamla Persad-Bissessar as opposition didn't know to raise the issue of Maxi Coffey until Philip Edward Alexander and the Progressive Empowerment Party had to fight with the government and the media to get this issue ventilated in the public space. We continue to do that. We continue to wait. Easter has come and gone. Stuart Young said October. Fitzgerald Hines said November. Camille Robinson Regis said December. Keith Rowley said Easter. Tomorrow is Easter. Tomorrow is Easter. So if there's no Maxi Coffey tomorrow, if Christ resurrect and Maxi Coffey don't show up, PNM have to go. 4. The female member of parliament and former cabinet minister Marlene McDonald, who was picked to replace the incapacitated Maxi Coffey and handle his ministerial portfolio in the interim, was fired not once but twice already by Prime Minister Rowley. This article is wrong, and the Guardian and the Express, Sabga News Network and Massy Media in Trinidad also gave it to you wrong. Marlene McDonald is not the Minister of Communications and Planning and Administration, you know. Marlene McDonald is a minister in the ministry. Maxi Coffey, brain dead and on life support, is still the minister. Maxi Coffey's family is drawing salary, is drawing TT taxpayer dollars for a man that cannot, could not, will not ever be able to do the job. Keith Rowley is part of a criminal conspiracy defrauding the people of Trinidad and Tobago. His cabinet is stealing funds from the treasury in defense of his daughter father-in-law. This is madness at every level, and we're not hearing nothing about it in that parliament because corruption runs so rife among everybody inside of there that it's like a game. You know that game with a little piece of wood that if you pull the wrong one, everything coming down? All of them have cocoa in the sun and rain coming hard. The current Minister of National Security, Edmund Dillon, appeared in a New York court earlier this month, charged in a civil matter with defrauding an elderly man in New York out of his condominium in Manhattan and embezzling over US $500,000 from the elderly man's account. Now, this has passed muster in New York City. This is not Trinidad jokey courts. This is New York City. There was a level of discretion granted in the conversation where all sides had to present their arguments to see if this matter could in fact go forward, especially as this man had some diplomatic immunity. He's a minister in a foreign country. And the judge found that Edmund Dillon had a case to answer. The moment the judge found that there was sufficient evidence for Edmund Dillon to answer, Keith Rowley was supposed to remove him from public office. But you see, Edmund Dillon is only one of a band of criminals, an entire cabinet, parliament, government of people masquerading as representation but sticks and pens. The allegations are wrongly denied by Dillon, who claims the accuser is a longtime friend and the property and access to the bank accounts were willfully deeded and authorized by the accuser by a lawyer and a witness. His case goes back to court on April 4th. Now listen, that your friend. Your friend lent you your apartment, the friend lent you your money, and the friend wanted it back, and you say it. He's your friend. We ain't giving him back. You have to take it to court. The complaint in civil court does not mean that criminal charges cannot be pursued in the meantime or after an adverse verdict is delivered in the civil courts. That means that Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of National Security could be sitting in a courtroom in New York City defending himself in a civil matter and be arrested by New York City Police Department for fraud. See where you reach? Trinidad and Tobago, you're gambling with what is representation. All Keith Rowley could appoint is criminals and gangsters because that is all he know. Kamla Prasad can't do better because that's all she know. What you have is 41 people in a parliament that is masquerading as government and representation. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to wake up to this. There is a reason every Movelang, Bacanalis, bad talker, paid talking head have Philip Edward Alexander to study. They have a reason, every one of them attacking the PEP, because it is because you have a Philip Edward Alexander. It is because you have a progressive empowerment party. Edmund Dillon business in the road. It is because of the PEP. We're discussing Rohanson and what's going on in the port. It is because of the progressive empowerment party and Philip Edward Alexander. The country even has a clue of what is going on with Maxi Coffey. And that is why every one of these paid attackers, PNM and UNC are fighting one another again, you know. PNM and UNC gang up to fight the Progressive Empowerment Party and Philip Edward Alexander to prevent you from knowing what you know. I have been given information that Keith Rowley was given an instruction by his 1% handlers. Either you fire these people or we fire you. Keith Rowley almost lost his job as political leader of the PNM, which is not owned by the Balize drinking sycophantic juice Kool-Aid drinkers. But Balize House and PNM is owned by some businessmen. And those businessmen summoned Patrick Manning in the West and fired him and made Rowley leader. And they called Rowley and they told him, you are to fire Faris Al-Rawi, Rohan Sinanan, Moses as Foreign Affairs Minister, and Edmund Dillon. We're waiting to see what's going on. And I find it strange that just those four, because Rompaman should be fired too. Rompaman for interfering with all the girls in the Ministry of Sports office that cost the taxpayers of this country $150,000 in sexual harassment costs. And this is not the first time under the PNM. Uttaro Rao, who was running the estate management company, got himself in similar trouble, and again taxpayers had to pay for sexual discussion under the PNM. And you remember, this is a country where people forget what's going on. I say Maxi Coffee, people say, I forget about Maxi Coffee. This is a country where we can't whistle and walk, where it is easy for people to hear people saying, Philip not electable. And you take that shit, and you're not asking yourself, why would anybody have Philip to study if Philip not electable? It seems to be a waste of words. It's a waste of words. If you have to attack me continuously, there has to be a reason. And I'm suspecting that the reason is Marley McDonald, Maxi Coffee, Edmund Dillon, Fitzgerald Hines, Faris Al-Rawi, the entire cabinet. Stuart Young is guilty of misbehavior in public office, conspiring to defraud the House of Representatives. He should be removed from the parliament at the very least. This country has an entire cabinet that is broken to the core. Imagine Shamfa Kujo, Roma girl, looking like the least of the abusers in the entire parliament. How we get to there? How did we get to there? And how is it that in a country where the opposition is start to answer for the billions of dollars missing on their watch, that they took over from Patrick Manning, who never answered for the billions missing on his watch, who took over from Basdeo Pandey, who never answered for the billions taken on his watch, and all the sufferers suffering in Trinidad and Tobago, and people can't still get anything like government or representation out of those two parties. You don't know where the money for the Dwayne Church come from. You don't know what went on the port. You don't know what went on in the airport. Everything they touch, they thief. Every single thing the PNM and the UNC touch, they thief. Every road, every highway, everything they cut, everything they make, everything they buy, they thief. Everything. The entire PNM and the entire UNC are disgusting, stink, cancerous, corrupt, criminal organizations. And the only thing keeping them in office is their willingness to deal with crime, to deal with criminals. It is gangsters voting for them. While 500,000 and 600,000 of you all thinking, oh, you're too good to line up in sun and rain to vote, other people making that decision for you. The Attorney General, Faris Al-Rawi's children were caught on camera with illegal automatic weapons. Al-Rawi said that it was training being supervised by the military because his children had received threats and feared for their lives. Nobody, anywhere in the history of this country ever had that same training. Faris and Stuart said it was an invitation from the military. The military say you lied. The military conducted a kangaroo court, and their verdict put the responsibility on a gentleman, a retired brigadier general, who came out and said, wait a minute, I was not there. I had nothing to do with this, and I am not involved. And they had to fire the other brigadier general and fire him quietly and give him a house in Victoria Keys opposite West Mall. Are they following what's going on in this mad country? The appearance still lingers in the minds of Trinidadians who feel the brunt of crime and also sense a feeling of entitlement by Al-Rawi to allow his children to get away with what then others cannot or would be faced with severe consequences. 7. I cannot read this one because it's a matter before the courts. And the truth of the matter is, there is already enough. There is more than enough. You have to accept that this country should have fired Keith Rowley over the Superfast Galatia and everything that happened on the port. He was to be fired for that. And the only reason Trinidadians are not outraged and in the street, I believe, is that they still think, there are many who still don't know that there is a Progressive Empowerment Party. There are many who still don't know that there is a real alternative, who feel that if an election is called, they might accidentally end up with the madness of the UNC. They might accidentally end up with a prime minister who take 5-day weekends, who had government ministers doing what the hell they like. A former minister of national security told me last night that under the UNC there was a Ministry of National Security and there was a National Security Council, and the two of them got different fundings from the Treasury. And the Ministry of National Security, whose name is being called by Cambridge Analytica and Aggregate IQ, is not the same organization, and that they're supposed to be looking at a guy by the name of Shem Baldio Singh, who Kamala landed in some airport and met this guy and picked him up and made him her chief security advisor, even though she had national security advisors and ministers of national security. This guy, Shem Baldio Singh, whose name is now being called in this matter internationally, Cambridge Analytica, Aggregate IQ and SCL, that's not over. Kamala playing limbo. She trying to duck under the allegations and throw it on the COP. The COP throw it back. The COP say, no ma'am, check your FIFA connections. Check Jack Warner. Check your man of business, Shem Baldio Singh. Check the meetings that you all used to have that didn't include anybody else, that planned how to get information on Trinidadians and Tobagonians to manipulate elections. You see, this is what you have to understand. That neither side, no matter how you think they sound or look, no matter, I was told today that when I call Kamala Darumai, I heard the people who still adore her. And I want to tell all those people who still adore her, there is nothing I can do to help you. You should get some kind of intervention, maybe some medication. Because if you didn't watch and see $300 billion evaporate under Kamala, if you didn't watch and see some stunting, catch-ass contractors who didn't have 5 cents to hang on a mop, now all of a sudden importing Rolex and buying penthouse in Bayshore and Florida. If you didn't see people become multi-millionaire billionaires on that watch while the country got nothing to show for it but a hospital at 10 times the cost that the hospital should have cost, and we owe in China for that. The truth of the matter is there is nothing in the UNC for you. There is nothing in the PNM for you. What is going on right now is threats against my life, because both of those parties need Philip Alexander to shut up. Corn Beef Man and Marcia Brave Boy and Daryl Duku and every one of these, I don't know what to call them again. Diana Kelly tell me don't call people name, but all these people calling my name. So what am I supposed to tell you? Others? A grand conspiracy of PNM and UNC? Others? How am I supposed to address, confront, and resolve this? These people are being paid to malign and defame me on a constant and daily basis, to kill the message, kill the messenger. That is the whole play. And the first step is to remove my power to speak. If I cannot say these words to you, if you look at me and think that I am a con artist, I am a racist, I had to go on a show on Synergy TV where they tried to play me as this racist. I had to turn around and show Trinidad and Tobago all the work I do with the homeless, the orphans, and the disabled for the past 2 decades. It is I who put 25,000 people on the road to get the last government to pass the Children's Authority Act and to fund and set up the Children's Authority. Any one of you could come with me and go downtown where the people who are the least of the Trinidadians and Tobagonians, who are the most dispossessed and left behind. I go and I feed the people falling apart, homeless and dying of AIDS. They don't even want to touch them. That's where I spend my Christmas. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday. And again tomorrow, me together with the Jericho Project will be at the Cerebral Palsy Home in Cocorit, doing Easter egg treats for these little children. Come and see these children. All these people who talking, you ever see them spend 5 cents to see our ants dance? But they're talking big and they want to play. They're going to malign my name. It ain't stick. It ain't work. It can't get it to work. People still supporting. People still believing. The party growing, the fastest growing party in history. They're panicking. 1 year and 2 months in. 3 months next month. 1 year and 3 months in. The Progressive Empowerment Party has done what no other political party has dared to do. A man named Derek Singh asked me today, why we don't invite Michaela Pandey and Nicole Dyer? Why stop there? Bring Mariano Brown and Penelope Beckles and Amy Brown. But why haven't all of them had the belly and the balls if they realize that the parties that they are part of can deliver? Why they didn't do what I do with the PEP? Why Michaela don't start a party? Why Penelope Beckles doesn't either? Why is Penelope and Amory eating taxpayer funds as ambassadors, waiting in the line to lead the PNN? Why none of these people are actually interested in actually delivering representation to you? No, because while they're sleeping well and chauffeur driven, people dying in this country. People dying in this country. True talk. That's where we at. And we need to face that in its entirety. Without a doubt. Turn it around and come back here. We singing these songs. The ship sinking. We like it so. We jamming still. A madman's rant. We singing these songs 50 years now. This country has been broken by the British. And when the new colonists, Eric Williams and the PNM, came into power, they changed nothing. All they did was change the flag. They changed the anthem. They changed the face and the race of the abuser, but the abuse didn't stop. The People's National Movement, the only people that the People's National Movement helped was some catch-ass, knuckle-dragging, failed lawyers and professionals who gang together with Eric Williams and inflict pseudo-colonialism back on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Look at where we are. Black people had to march in Trinidad and Tobago in the 70s under the rules of a Black Power uprising to get jobs in this country. Still, to this day, nothing works in Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing. We've been through 2 massive oil booms that could have saved money for 100 years and run this country for 100 years. But we blazed through it and made millionaires and billionaires of some people who cannot account for how they live in, where they live in, what they drive in. They can't count. They get things handed to them. Up to this day, we still don't know how much Howard Chinley paying for Pier 1. We don't know. Manning had him that. And now the same Pier 1, Rowley gave him the ability to dock boats where the same little black children was going bathe. The little black children that bathing in Shagaramas, all them old ship, all them beat up old ship park up outside Pier 1, not pleasure craft, you know. Big stinking old ship dumping oil, diesel and feces to wash up on the beach in the last beach left for these children to swim. Now you tell me how at any point in time has anybody in this country ever had representation? I had to ask someone today, who else in this country deals with the issues I deal with? Who else brings to the public fore how to fix everything? And we discuss it every day. We have a public meeting every Saturday. We have rallies. We've had 15 rallies now in 1 year and 3 months. We've had more rallies in 1 year and 3 months than the Congress of the People has had in the entirety of its existence, and they face 2 elections. The MSJ, David Abdullah, only telling me network with who? Network with who? Who in this country? Nicole Dyer and Gary Griffith form AOI. Ask them how difficult it is to form a political party in this country. It's stillborn in 3 months. This is not an easy job. What I did here, what we do here, this is not easy. Where's the Congress of the People now? Where is it? Where is the NAR? Where is it? Where is the MSJ? The MSJ is a political party. 10 elections now. They never fight one election. But David Abdullah on Hema show, talking big about how to fix Trinidad and Tobago. Talking big. But if David Abdullah didn't have Ansel Roger and the OWTU state-sponsored marchers, because that's what they had. Without the OWTU marching, David Abdullah, Ansel Roger Rowley, and a couple of friends from Newberry Hill and Glencoe, that is what you want to get. Because not even Fitzgerald Hines was marching then. Not even weave specialist Camille Robinson Regis was marching then. None of them was marching. So if we're going to network, who do we network with? The AOI don't exist, the COP don't exist, the MSJ is a joke. Who do we network with? Michaela Pandey sitting down waiting to hope that Kamla collapse and that somehow it fall by her. But Monilal waiting for that too. And Vassant waiting for that. So who do we network with? Do we network with people who sat in the UNC, sat in the parliament, sat as part of the People's Partnership, benefited from corruption? Up to this day, Bastio Pandey never answered. Did Dupre really give you £1 million to educate your 2 daughters? Michaela is one of the 2. How do you network with that? How do I come back to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and say, forget that now. Forget that. How? How do you? This is the truth. And if you understood this, all the catchers, you catching ass right now, if people were handing you millions of dollars, you'd be dressing well and talking nice. But that's not what the Progressive Empowerment Party is for. And it's certainly not what I am about. We are here hoping to rescue Trinidad and Tobago. Our policies are non-negotiable. We want housing for all. I told Kamla about that in 2010 live, and I have the video still. Sitting on Hema show, that night Kamla had a Monday night forum and said, we're doing it. 0 deposit, 0 interest, 30 years. And they jump out and stop her. Because those who making money from poor people renting don't want that gravy train to stop. Keep Rowley and the PNM say they always had that plan. It was in a drawer. They have a drawer full of plans. Nothing they ever do, you know. Like Coleman would say, we always had a plan to fix 4 roads. But you didn't fix it. You and Rowley did 31 years watching people in Diego Martin and Maraval sit in traffic day in and day out and know the solution. You ever drive over Moncoko Road that links PNM, Diego Martin Northeast, PNM, Diego Martin Central, and PNM, Diego Martin West? You ever drive over that and see what these stink and dirty PNM people really think of their supporters? The truth of the matter is, this is a country that has been corruptly mismanaged and damaged by 2 political fake organizations. The PNM and the UNC are not representatives of the people. The PNM and UNC are representatives of special interests, themselves, their friends, their families, their financiers, and contractors who are in the loop. Trinidad and Tobago has nothing to show for the $3 trillion we spent for the 56 years we're independent. Answer me this question. Manning, Pandey, Kamla, Rowley, $1 trillion. Look around you. Look around you. $1,000 billion. Kamla, Rowley, Manning, Pandey. Look around. You find it. Don't touch Waterfront, because we still owing for that. Don't touch Napa, Sapa, Tapa, we owing for that. Don't touch Taruba and the Cuba Hospital, we owing for that. Don't touch the Point Fortin Highway, because we owing for that. Where that $1 trillion gone? Where? Where gone? The people of Morva, Beetham, Laventille, and Sealots, those people who are inheritors and shareholders of this country have been done so wrong. The reason I keep talking about the people of Bagatelle, Rich Plain, Covine, Mason, they don't look like me or want me to represent them. What they want is somebody to represent them. They want somebody to come and say, by Christ, give us street lights, water, sidewalk, jobs, and proper schools. Just give us hope and opportunity and get the hell out of our way. But neither party has been able to do that. So Abbey Pujad, Big Yard, Scorpion, Cocorite, Hardin Place, Waterhole, La Puerta suffer salt. And when those same people end up committing crime, we want to know why we have crime. We planting oranges, and when oranges bear, we stunned. We're expecting to plant orange and pick what? Onion? We have these people so. When I see these people and I see their condition, my heart breaks, and I know they can't even understand my intentions because they've been done wrong for so long by every single thing disguised as a political party. I don't blame them for not believing me. In their shoes, boy, you had to walk on water, brother, and I had to check. The most we could do as a people in this country is try. We can't continue to pretend that what went on is somehow negotiable. Adolf Hitler killed millions of people. 10% of the population of the entire world died during World War II. And that could have stopped earlier if the British government didn't try to negotiate with Adolf Hitler. Winston Churchill was telling them, appeasement is not an option. You cannot appease the devil. You cannot negotiate the devil. In this country, we still have people that think the criminal conspiracy in the UNC is somehow a solution to the criminal conspiracy in the PNM, and they can't tell you why. So for the people who still adore Darumai, I'm sorry for you. You are the reason our ship sinking. For the people who still red and ready now, who still balizing now, you are the reason our ship sinking. For the people who too good to vote, who are not political, you are the reason our collective ship is sinking. If all of you got together as one people under one flag, you could imagine the country we could be. We have told you the solutions for this country every day. Every single day. All you have to do is come out and march for that. March for 10 years, zone community schools with no SEA, with a GPA, so that all children get a chance to improve every term, and that the Ministry of Education, through a supervisor of education in all 41 constituencies, could monitor the performance of every teacher, every school, and every principal, so that we could make sure that every child in need gets service. You're supposed to march for a national jobs policy that leaves no citizen behind, that every single member of this country is entitled to government-assisted work, not hand out a proper job. Your responsibility is to make sure that there is enough economic activity taking place in the country that everybody who wants a job could get one. And then you must be able to say that everybody who have a job could own a home if they want one, and make that a reality, because we could do that. All of this could be done, and it can be done easily. The police service don't have to be how it is. It can be cleaned up in 6 months. In 6 months, all the rogue, corrupt, criminal elements in the police service could be removed, suspended. We could end up with what is left and work with that. The army don't have to continue running through the bush, jumping over trees for no reason. We could inculcate them into the homeland security and secure this nation. We could put a maritime security wall, repurpose. There are 15 barges outside down the islands right now, taking up space and costing money. You can repurpose 6 of them and put them 3 miles out, equip them with immigration, police, coast guard, international supervision to make sure that we're not corrupting it. Equip each of them with interceptor boats and fast attack helicopters, and stop everything coming into this country. Move the Port of Spain out of Port of Spain to Point Lisas. All the land you just free up between Hyatt and Movieton is $1 trillion. You can make one set of money with that. Invest. A whole Gold Coast. We could walk from Westmoreland to Port of Spain on our boardwalk. That the best of the Caribbean. They will talk about it all over the world. We could have that kind of vision for Trinidad and Tobago. Our marine industry could make us billions of dollars. I told Trinidad and Tobago when I ran for election 2015 as an independent in Diego Martin West, that if elected to office, I would do everything in my power to make sure that we build a marine university in Chaguaramas. A marine university in Chaguaramas would have spilled over downstream industries, building boats, building yachts, rigging sails, out outfitting, equipping, engineering. We would have put all our people to work and we would have given them hope and opportunity. Set up finance and make sure those who want to open a business could. All over the world, there are people who own pleasure boats, pleasure craft and yachts that park it up in Caribbean islands at risk to hurricanes. Do you know the only one that isn't? Trinidad and Tobago. That you could bring Trinidad and Tobago on the world map as the #1 destination for pleasure craft in the world. Billions of dollars. I tell you all about shipping turnaround. Singapore and Dubai. Research those 2 countries. I give it 3 countries, forget the rest. I want to tell you, model our education after Finland and our economy against Finland, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, Iceland, our democratic responsibility. But you see Dubai, Singapore, New York City, you see those 3? Let's twin ourselves. Because Dubai and Singapore make their money on shipping and shipping turnaround. Billions upon billions of dollars. We are perfectly poised where we are because we're outside of the hurricane belt to make billions and billions of dollars doing that. You see New York City? The mayor of New York City has 65,000 police officers working under him. And all 65,000 will tell you, they're afraid terrorists and they're afraid gangsters and criminals. They're afraid internal affairs. And we could hire New York City to come and set up internal affairs in Trinidad and Tobago and pay them well. It will save us billions of dollars. It will save us money and fail. We have a 3% interdiction rate because our police service is corrupt. How the hell is that acceptable? And why has neither the PNM nor the UNC done anything to fix it? Where was Kamala Maniac and Sabga Rowley? Where were they? And what are they saying to you? Political stunts, bullshit, old talk, race talk, roti talk. That's what you're getting in the parliament. You're not getting anything that remotely passes for leadership. Excuse and blame. He do, she do. He say, she say. But nobody telling you, if we fix the country, this is how, this is when, this is why, this is where, and this is how much it will cost. Somebody photoshopped the Express front page and put it on social media, and it says, Rowley say, do like Jesus and walk on water. And the Express had to put out a release saying that is not a true headline. And it is a sad indictment against our Prime Minister that the vast majority of people of Trinidad and Tobago would believe he is capable of such a statement. That is the truth. There is nothing and nobody in either the PNM or the UNC that is capable of rescuing this country and taking it where it's supposed to be. I know what I am capable of. You hear these ideas, they're simple, common sense, counterintuitive, management-driven, simple. Trinidad is a dot. We have less people here than there are teachers, firemen, and police in New York City. Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago don't qualify as a county in a first world nation. This place so easy to fix is a shame. The fact that Trinidad and Tobago is in the condition it is in is as a direct result of us failing to take responsibility for our democracy. This country, when people come and tell you, it could fix, but you have to amend the constitution. Bullshit. We have enough law. We have enough constitution. What we don't have is enough people willing to put everything on the line to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place. I am willing to do that. When I wear this shirt, it says enough. I have been at enough for about 15 years. I have been trying very hard to get everybody in this country to wake up and understand that a vote for the PNM and a vote for the UNC is a vote against yourself. It is a vote for terrorism. It is a vote for criminality and corruption. It is a vote for racial division. Trinidad and Tobago is where it is as a direct result of our failure to see and recognize what those two parties represent. And if we don't wake up now that we disclose to IMF, now that we disclose to failed nation status, now that we disclose to Banana Republic, if we don't wake up now, we gotta get out. Trinidad is on its way to a massive collapse. When people outside of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean region talking about they're panicking because Trinidad, when it falls, will make a big noise. It will make a big mess. We are interconnected throughout the Caribbean and they have a vested interest in us surviving. The truth of the matter is this little island is being spoken about negatively in the British Parliament twice in 2 months. They talk about a murder investigation taking place in Trinidad. And they're talking about a case that is running. The pre-case for the case is running for a decade, and they're talking about that in their parliament. The fact that Canada and the British Parliament, both of them have now recorded that the first place, the criminal conspiracy to defraud the voters that Cambridge Analytica and Aggregate IQ do, they did in Trinidad and Tobago, is embarrassing beyond comprehension. PNM pushing for a property tax that they do not need, will not use properly, and will probably squander. The only property tax we need in this country is a taxation regime that takes cocaine and corruption money out of real estate. And I have said, the Progressive Empowerment Party, this is why we lost Philip Franco, because Philip Franco owns 4 apartments and he considers himself as a land baron. So this panicked him. But you need to understand that in a country and an island this small, you cannot have people owning multiples of properties if we want everybody to have a chance at owning a home. Because the science tells you that home ownership and community development is the #1 solution to crime. That you fix the home and you fix the community, a nation is a collection of communities. Once you fix home and fix the community, the whole country works. And that is why the Progressive Empowerment Party has as its intention a property tax regime that goes like this. On your primary residence, 0 tax. On the first additional home you own, there will be a tax. On the second additional home you own, there will be a higher tax. And on the third, it'll escalate. So if you own 10 houses, by the 10th house, you pay the full value of that house every year. Why? Because too many corrupt people have been hiding corruption dollars and drug money laundering money in real estate in Trinidad and Tobago at the expense. Our real estate prices are kept artificially high with drug and corruption money. If you want to have a property tax, have a property tax regime that flushes that money out. But make sure that the primary residence of all the citizens of this country, and I don't care if it's a 2x4 flat or a 20,000 square foot mansion, the primary residence of every citizen, tax-free. That's how you run a country. You set a tone, a tenor, a timber. You say that what we want is a nation of homeowners, patriots, people who want to stand together, one people under one flag, the red, white, and black unites us all. If we could have that as our national vision, every problem we have solved. Nothing could continue to our detriment. Nothing. Trinidad and Tobago is far too small for us to have the size of the problems that we continue to have. This is our truth. Tonight, I tell you, this is our reality. As much as I would like to walk away from the madness that is politics, and I took this vacation to decide, what am I really going to do? Because all the people who love me want me out of it. They want me out of it bad. And I have taken this vacation to decide what exactly am I going to do. And I have decided that I am going to commit myself to rescuing Trinidad and Tobago. And somebody said to me today that if my only role is to inform, educate, and empower, don't consider it a political party, consider it an NGO. I beg to differ. And I try to explain to that person. It has always been the first role and responsibility of leaders to chart the way forward, to explain to the people. The reason I say inform, educate, and empower, we must not just show you what is wrong. We must also show you what is right and the road to get there, how it is done. Since the Progressive Empowerment Party has come into being and our policies has become public knowledge, the level of the conversation has risen dramatically. You look around social media and you see people engaging each other, not from a bacchanal, stick your finger in your eye, run up on your chest and kick you in your face, but having conversation. This is how we fix the country. Because at the end of the day, unless you pack in to leave, get busy trying to save it. Get busy trying to save it. I said before, a lot of these criminals and crooks and gangsters and white-collar bandits wouldn't behave the way they behave in Trinidad and Tobago if they couldn't leave. If at the end of all of their actions, the consequences and the responsibilities of their action, when Trinidad start to drown, they have to drown too, they would act differently. The truth of the matter is they're thieving money in grab and shipping it out. They already have the larger part of their net worth in other foreign jurisdictions, so that when time comes and the thing fall apart and it's time to leave, they leave in. They don't need to move what they have here. They don't need to take the toothbrush. They have other toothbrush. They have other clothes. Everything's set up to run. Check their passport. They're leaving regularly and traveling and coming back. Banking, taking just the limit so that customs don't get them stressed. That's what's going on. And I closed with this in that conversation, if I do one thing, and if that one thing is to educate and empower the people of Trinidad and Tobago without ever seeing public office, I would consider that a victory and a purpose for my life. I would consider that I have served at the highest level. If I got everybody in this country thinking at a level of what they're entitled to and how to get there, that, like a rising tide, will lift all the boats. And once all the boats lift, once we have all of our people above the poverty line, once we get everybody into the game could then be played rationally, sensibly. Everybody will be safe and secure, because all of us, Trinidadians and Tobagonians, what unites us are greater than the things that divide us. We are a people that are very simple to please. We are loving, easygoing, friendly. Black, white, red, green, every shade in between. Ugly people, pretty people, short people, tall people, all of we just get along. The bacchanal and the madness that is Trinidad and Tobago is not us. This is not who we really are. Somebody inflicting this madness on us, and we have to reject it. We have to say, you know what? Enough. 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 We will stand together as one people under one flag, and we will fix it. And we will get rid of the mocking pretenders, the oligarchs that rape and plunder and pillage. We will stand as one people and lift everybody to a similar high standard. And together we will go forward, one people under one flag, a better future for all of us right here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can foretell our country's fate. One use it well
Before it's too late.
If it is that who you're voting, fail the other doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is they prove it to be your sinful amount.
When you're voting,
Vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that
change must come about. Just as how you vote them in, vote them out.
register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stain your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy.
Tell them enough.
Vote them out with
Enough.
and under the stain.
Let's put our country together again.
Vote them out of power.
Terminate their reign.
Let's put our country together again.
What the Progressive Empowerment Party promises is a first world nation where every creed and race could find an equal place. We pledge to make all of the words of our national anthem a reality. We pledge to make it so that people who live abroad line up outside the embassies and high commission to get visa to come here the way our people used to have to line up to leave. We pledge to make Trinidad and Tobago so safe, so secure that wrought iron and security guard gone out of business. Nobody ain't buying no burglar alarm. We pledge to make Trinidad and Tobago such a first world nation that all our foreign-based Trinis could pack up, sell out, wrap up and come back home. We want a Trinidad and Tobago where we, all of us, the people of this country, could stand together and say, yes, this is what I was born for. This is where we were born to be. A nation of paradise on earth, the center of everything. This little dot was meant for that. We could have that. You're voting them in, and it's only tears as soon as they win.
They give you big words
And enslave your soul, promising your roads and giving more votes.
if they are the reason why the economy would sprout.
When you're voting,
Vote them out.
vote them out.
If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout.
When you're voting,
Vote them out.
vote them out.
If it is the building ISOs, east, west, north and south.
Just as how you vote them in, vote them out. peptrinbago@gmail.com, peptrinbago@gmail.com, peptt.com is the website, peptt.com, that's the website. Our primary email address is peptrinbago@gmail.com. We have an app, the PEP app, PEP, APP, that is free for you to download from all the app stores. Capitalize on that. The party's hotline is 347-4PEP. You know what I look forward to? And I want to ask all of you all to press for this. When they come to attack, tell them, listen, let's organize a debate for Philip, Kamala, and Keith. Let's talk past, present, and future. Unscripted. Let the people ask the questions. Let's do that. Let's replace the culture of bacchanal and old talk that masquerades as politics in this country with a real conversation, televised live, and it can run for as long as you want it to run. Philip, Kamala, Keith. Put all three of us on a stage, and on the screen, let the moderator, let the people of Trinidad and Tobago type questions, and all three of us answer. Name that debate, past, present, and future. And let the people of Trinidad and Tobago look and see and make a decision based on what they see, hear, and know to be fact. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's forget this stunting. Let's get down to a conversation with the people, and all of us come straight. Let's do that. So in place of all the brown tongue, double talk, deceit, and old talk, movelang nonsense, forget that. Forget the fighting, the trolling, the sycophancy, the noise. Forget that. Forget the defending, the maligning, the backbiting. Forget all that. Let's bring it down to this. Tell us what you think is the problem and how you think it could be solved. And we discuss everything. How you will fund it, who will do it, where it will happen, how it will happen, when it will happen. Let's have that conversation. It is time you knew everything about how your country is run and how it should be run. And if you're open to that, I am open to that too. Next week, Saturday is the 7th of April. We are in Couva. And they will, Debbie Lee, Jaikaran, and Felicia, and Dilworth, and the rest of the team will put on this thread where exactly in Couva we're going to be. But I will be there. And I promise you, we bring in fire in Couva. We asking a question. Fire in Couva. We asking a question. If this is the third wealthiest nation in the Western world, if this country has spent $3 trillion in the last 56 years, where is our people's money? I am coming with questions and answers. Fire in Couva. Next week, Saturday at 6 p.m. Spread the word about that. Find the event on Facebook. Link up with Felicia, Debbie Lee, Shari, Dilworth, Sarah Nabi, the team. Get yourself involved. Spread that message. Let everybody know we're coming out. We're coming out. PEP will be on the road. We're in an election footing since we start. We want a better country. Where we are right now, this madness, this can't continue. All of us as one people, let us say, enough. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.